Choking under pressure. You've taken this shot so many times you stopped counting years ago. Free throw, line up, don't even look at the rim, it goes in. Except this time the score is close, everyone's watching, and suddenly you're looking at the rim. Your palms are wet before you even notice they're wet. Your elbow does something it has never done on this exact shot before. It misses, not by much. Just enough that you know exactly what happened, even if you can't say it out loud. This isn't you forgetting how. It isn't nerves in the way people usually mean it. It has a name. Choking under pressure, and it explains something most people never figure out about themselves. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain took a skill that used to run on its own and put a manager in charge of it. The manager has no idea what it's doing. It never did. It was never supposed to. The parts of you that knew how to do this were doing fine without a supervisor. And here's the strange part. The pressure doesn't make you try less. It makes you try to control something that was never meant to be controlled step by step. Same thing happens signing your name on a big document. 20th time today should be nothing, except it's not nothing. The pen catches on the second letter. You have to start over like a kid. You didn't forget how. You just remembered you were doing it. And that was the one thing you were never supposed to remember. Analysis paralysis. You've got 4 tabs open, comparing the same product, then 6, then a 7th, and you can't even remember what you were trying to decide anymore. Your finger is hovering over the mouse, and it's been hovering for 11 minutes. Nobody watching you would know that. They'd just see someone sitting there, looking calm, looking normal. This isn't you being indecisive. It isn't you overthinking in the way people usually mean it. It has a name. It's analysis paralysis. And once you see it, you start noticing it everywhere. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain was built to weigh a handful of options and choose 3 things, maybe 5. It was never built to weigh 40. So past a certain point, it doesn't pick the best option. It doesn't even pick badly. It stops picking at all. The decision doesn't get made wrong. It just stops getting made. You close the laptop. 10 minutes later, you open it again. Same tabs, same cursor, hovering in the same place. This happens standing in the cereal aisle too. 12 kinds of oats in front of you, and you walk out with nothing. It happens picking a show to watch. 40 minutes of scrolling and you just turn the television off. It even happens with something as small as replying to a text. You type something, delete it, type something else, delete that too. 20 minutes pass. The message still isn't sent. Here's the part that actually explains why it feels so exhausting. Every option you don't choose still costs something. Your brain tracks that cost, even the ones you'll never pick. So the more choices in front of you, the heavier the ones you're not choosing become. There's a reason people describe this feeling as tired, even though nothing physical happened. Choosing isn't free. Somewhere in you, it's being paid for the whole time you're just sitting there. Your body knew what it wanted before you ever opened the first tab. It's still sitting there, waiting for you to catch up to something it already decided. Naturalistic decision making. You're driving, radio low, mind somewhere else entirely. Errands, dinner, the email you forgot to send. Then movement between 2 parked cars, small, fast. Your foot is already on the brake. Before your eyes finish deciding what you're even looking at, your body has already reacted. Pressure through the sole of your shoe, the screech, the seatbelt locking hard across your chest. The kid stops on the curb, untouched. You're the one shaking. Every glitch on this list has cost you something. This one doesn't. It has a name. Naturalistic decision making. Gary Klein spent the 1980s studying people who make life or death calls with no time to think. Fireground commanders walking into burning buildings. He expected to find them weighing options. He didn't. Most of the time, there was no choice to run through it all. They looked at a scene, matched it, instantly, wordlessly, against thousands of fires they'd already lived through and moved. No comparing, no shortlist. Some of these decisions took 8 seconds, not because they were reckless, because they weren't starting from zero. They were pulling from a library your conscious mind never even gets invited into. He called it recognition-primed decision-making. The brain doesn't ask, what are my options? It asks, what is this like? Finds a match and runs it forward once. Before you're even aware a question got asked. It happens to you too, just smaller, just quieter. The nurse who looks at a patient and calls for help before the monitor's alarm, ask her why, and she'll say the patient looked wrong. You braked before you'd actually seen the child. Your body ran a calculation your eyes hadn't even finished submitting. You still don't know exactly how you knew. You're still sitting there, hands on the wheel, foot hard on the brake, long after the car has already stopped moving. Temporal discounting. The alarm goes off, 6:12, the one you set last night, half asleep, fully convinced. Your thumb finds snooze before your eyes even open. 9 more minutes. You know exactly what those 9 minutes cost. The workout that doesn't happen, the momentum you don't build, the blanket is warm, the floor will be cold. None of that matters right now. Right now wins. It's temporal discounting. Your brain doesn't see a reward as fixed. It runs it through a discount based on when it lands. The same exact reward, shrinking fast the further out it sits. Warm blanket now beats a better body in 6 months, because 6 months barely registers as real to the part of your brain doing the deciding. Economists first mapped this back in the 1930s. Psychologists later found it doesn't drop off in a straight line. It curves, steep at first, flattening out later. That's why a week away feels like it costs you everything, but a year away feels almost free. Put someone in a brain scanner and offer them $10 now against $20 in a month, and you can watch it happen. The reward centers light up hard for the $10 sitting right there. The part of the brain trying to hold on to the 20 has to fight for attention it usually loses. It's not just mornings. It's the minimum payment instead of the full balance. The dessert instead of the jeans that fit next month. Later isn't less real. It's just quieter. Right now is never quiet. You roll over. Set the alarm again. 6:21. The real one this time. Sunk cost fallacy. 20 minutes into the movie, you know it's bad. Not give it a chance, bad. Bad. Your arm's on the rest. You haven't touched the popcorn in 10 minutes. You could leave right now. Nobody's stopping you. But you paid for this ticket, so you stay. For another hour and 40 minutes of something you already know you don't want. It's the sunk cost fallacy. That ticket money is gone either way. Sitting through the rest of the movie doesn't bring it back, but your brain doesn't file it that way. It treats the money already spent like it's still in play, like walking out would waste it twice, instead of once. Researchers tested this with ski trip tickets back in the 1980s. People who paid for theirs were more likely to go, even through a blizzard, than people who got the exact same trip for free. It's not really about the movie or the ski trip. It's loss aversion wearing a disguise, making you protect a cost that's already unrecoverable instead of just asking what you actually want, starting from right now. The credits roll. You genuinely couldn't tell someone what happened in the last hour. Worth it, you tell yourself. You paid for it. Decision fatigue. I don't care, you say. You mean it. You genuinely cannot generate an opinion right now. By 7 p.m., you've picked an outfit, answered 40 emails, chosen a lunch, said yes to 3 things you didn't want to do, and no to 1 thing you did. This is just one more decision. It shouldn't be hard. It's the hardest one all day. It's decision fatigue. Picture a parole judge's morning in 2011. Same courtroom, same laws. A new case walking through the door every 20 minutes. At 9 a.m., a prisoner's odds of getting released sat around 65%. By the time lunch was 2 hours out, that number was almost zero. Same facts, same judge. Nothing about the case had changed. Only how many decisions that judge had already made since sitting down. It's why Obama wore only gray or navy suits. Why Zuckerberg wore the same gray shirt for years. Not style. One less decision competing for a resource that was already running low by noon. Your brain doesn't ration decisions evenly across a day. The 10th one costs more than the first. The 40th barely gets processed at all. It just gets whatever's easiest, fastest, closest to hand. Whether that's a stranger's freedom or what's for dinner. It's not weakness. It's a system that's been running since 6 a.m. Still being asked to output like it just started. You close the fridge. Order the same thing you always order. Not because it's what you wanted. Because it's the one decision you didn't have to make. Post-decision dissonance. Box still on the counter. You already bought the phone. You're scrolling reviews of the other one now. The one you almost got. Looking for reasons it would have been the wrong call. There it is. Battery complaints. A camera that's just okay. An hour ago these 2 phones were nearly tied. You spent 3 days going back and forth. Now one of them is obviously worse. You're sure of it. It's post-decision dissonance. 2 toasters. Rated nearly equal. A woman keeps one. Leaves the other. Weeks later, rating them again. The one she kept has climbed higher. The one she left behind has dropped. Same toasters. Nothing about them changed. She just needed one of them to have been the right choice. Your brain doesn't like sitting with, I might have picked wrong, so it doesn't sit with it. It goes back and edits the record, quietly, until the choice you already made looks like the only one that ever made sense. It's not just phones. It's the job you accepted, suddenly certain the other offer had a worse commute, worse people. Details you barely weighed while you were still deciding. You didn't do more research just now. You did damage control. The phone stays in the box a little longer. You're still scrolling, building the case for a decision that's already over. Zeigarnik Effect. He stopped mid-sentence. I just think you... And then his phone rang and he had to go. That was 6 hours ago. You've replayed those 4 words maybe 30 times since. Different endings each time. None of them landing. You've eaten dinner, watched half a show, answered emails. Some part of you never left that hallway. It's the Zeigarnik Effect. 100 years ago, a psychologist named Bluma Zeigarnik noticed something strange about a waiter in a Vienna cafe. He could recite orders back perfectly, down to who wanted their coffee black as long as the bill hadn't been paid. The second a table settled up, the details vanished completely. Finished didn't stick, unfinished did. What holds up in later research isn't the memory part. That's been contested. It's the pull. Interrupted things don't sit quietly. They tug. Unfinished work at day's end has been shown to keep people too activated to properly wind down, hours later. It's not just arguments. It's the show paused mid-scene that nags at you more than the one you finished. The email sitting in drafts since Tuesday. You pick your phone up, put it back down. He still hasn't texted. You start typing something. Delete it. 4 words in. And you still don't know how you wanted that sentence to end either.